You know, there's only one
put this into
callback
the
in this
crater.
game that I think I really like. It's that they finally gave us the second part of Butcher Pete. I mean, come on.
Finally. Finally.
Yeah. I'm like, I started the game and I've turned on the radio station. I'm like, okay, they turned the record over. That just raised the rating by like half a star right there.
So
I hope the next game has more music.
Was I
Just
supposed to
wanna say
talk to
that.
these people?
Yeah.
No, you don't need to. No, you just need to find the cave.
It is asking me to talk to them. though.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, you
Oh,
do have
wow.
to talk to the guy, and he
Or-
tells you that there's like the crazy guy.
Oh,
up
hey,
at
I
the
found an item.
They tell you where to find Big McLarge Huge. I kind of want to just not cosplay, but like role play the character that Mumbles thinks I am.
A big, stupid nerd.
No, but like, dearest viewer, riddle me this: does a nuclear bomb
yeah.
work through fusion or fission? Ho ho!
Like, hella sarcastic, like, oh, is that really how it works? Tell
Can
me
your
in the
pure brain
comments.
solve my insidious riddle? Like, you think I'm the Riddler, apparently.
I think it's like, you're just being a douche. like, at least the Riddler actually wants people to, like, know the answer. You're more
You're
like,
the rhetorical Riddler.
oh, yeah, rhetorical, yeah, exactly.
I like the idea that the rhetorical
water
Riddler is just
wet?
an asshole.
Is water
Riddle
wet?
is this Batman, who's 6 feet tall, wearing black, and a massive dick.
I'm fucking popped collar Riddler. That's what I am. Oh my god.
That's exactly right.
You're the actually Riddler.
You're the guy that the Riddler goes, that guy's an asshole, right? Like, kinda?
I mean, I'm murdering innocent people, but at least I'm not a dick about it.
How are they poisoning me through armor?
I actually
that's
like
always
this idea
fucked
now. I
Let's
like-
do a whole
I like-
video.
No,
Do a
like,
whole
like,
video.
like I like
Is
the idea
Deus
that,
Ex a
that
good
the
game?
Riddler, the real Riddler, is getting upset with this other Riddler, where like the Riddler's like, you know, I kidnap some people and I tie them to the railroad tracks and I ask them a riddle, and if they get it right, I let them go, and if not, they get run over by the train. That's how this is supposed to work. But this jackass is over there asking non-riddles, and he does whatever the hell he wants regardless. It's the most infuriating thing I've ever seen. Like, you know, meanwhile, cut to like the rhetorical Riddler, and he's like, got people tied to a train track, and he's like, if a tree falls in a forest, does it make a sound? It doesn't matter! And he just runs them over with a train. Like, that's just all he does.
I like the idea that the rhetorical Riddler is just wasting all my action points for no reason.
I don't know why
Oh.
you're fighting a Deathclaw. This seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, it's
was
not
there.
hard. Virgil is like right. You just go to his cave and you go and.
God
Why
damn
do
it!
you
Why
do
does
that
this
to
keep
them?
happening?
Oh, it worked.
Oh my god, you got the goofy experience.
Alright, well, that was a thing. I discovered a rocky cave.
These stingrays make me wish
Wow.
that literally any Harry Harrison novel was adapted into a video game. Well, not Death World 2. That was just preachy and annoying, but...
Oh god.
That's such a not good thing. That's a bad thing.
Yep.
It's very terrible.
It's a bad thing.
So
I like it
I
less.
You know,
do
to remind
not
everybody
like
that's me
Virgil.
making fun of the game and not.
Whoa.
He's such a great poet.
Okay, not the
Virgil's
poet. Shut up, Josh.
cool.
I don't like him because, and this is a terrible, and I know Mumbles is going to make fun of me for this. I don't like him because I don't like the idea of a guy experimenting with FEV becoming a semi-coherent super. Like, I realize we've had this before in Fallout 2, but
I thought you read
do
comic
not.
books.
I don't like Virgil. I don't like at all.
I love the idea of Virgil. I hate all his dialogue, but I love the idea of this science-doing super mutant who wants to get turned back. I love the way
He's
he ties
basically
all
glasses
comic
to his
books.
head.
That's
from
every
Overwatch.
comic book. every comic book is I'm smart. I'm gonna inject myself with this shit because I'm so fucking smart. And then they turn into the Hulk.
So can we examine that exchange there? I'm just a guy looking for information on the Institute. The Institute. So they did send you. You are working with Kellogg.
Nope.
Why would I be asking you for information about the people who sent me to... Why would I ask you to tell me about the people who sent me to kill you? I thought you were supposed to be smart, you dumbass.
No time for this. Remember, always the most combative possible dialogue.
Then you must understand my skepticism.
Okay. Because they don't
Yeah,
notice.
that part where he left a mini nuke launcher in the room before I met him, and then I stared at him for 10 minutes while holding it, and he didn't really seem to react, and then I just blew him up.
I still wasn't sure.
Yep, I can understand why you'd be skeptical that a guy like that would be dead.
Killed him, eh? Then what do you want?
Okay, so I actually am really terrible at knowing when video games look good or not. Like, I play a game, I'm like, oh, these graphics are pretty good, and then I go online, everyone is, like, literally unplayable, looks like dog shit smeared on a cardboard box found outside of Costco, and I'm like,
Gross.
oh, I guess I was wrong. I guess I was wrong about this video game. And Fallout 4 was kind of an exception because I got to play it for a long time without actually looking at the internet, and I'm like, I wonder if this game looks good or not. Like, that's what I'm thinking to myself as I'm playing it. And then I get to Virgil, and that's actually the moment where I'm like, okay, I know the internet doesn't like it. I know that people think this game looks ugly, because Virgil's textures are actually noticeably not good to me.
Yo, what the hell?
What is this This is a problem that goes all the way back to Oblivion, where they'll use a gigantic texture on a boulder, and then they'll use a small texture on somebody's face, and then they zoom in on the face during a cutscene. What? Why would you do that? Why?
Oh, look, all the options are, hey, it's my son. Please help my son.
You know, I'd point out that
Sean.
Virgil is like the guide into hell, and I don't think that the Institute is framed as hell per se. So I'm not sure Virgil is like a great
Okay.
name
Oh my
for him.
God.
The
I
way
just
that you
got
need to
that.
think,
Was
okay,
that
the way you need to
intentional,
think,
or...
the way you need to
Just-
think about Bethesda writers is that they have approximate knowledge of literary shit. Like, oh, Virgil's
They've heard of books
guide. There's
probably-
a book.
They probably date chicks that are English majors, and sometimes they
Exactly.
accidentally absorb stuff. And then they garble it
Exactly.
all up, and then they
Like,
try and put
sometimes
it
they
where
look
it's
down,
gay.
and they realize suddenly that the Iliad is their mouse pad, and they're like, huh, maybe,
See,
what is this thing?
If I could gently poke fun at Obsidian, their deal is the complete opposite, where they read all this obscure shit, but then they want you to know that they read it. So they just have you going, oh, it's called Hegelian
Like-
dialectics. You've probably never heard of it.
As an
Or like-
English major, I can say that is exactly how we operate. Like, oh, I've read all of the Shakespeare's and seen most of them live. What about you?
So it's actually great because I have a direct comparison, because I've been watching, my lady play Fallout New Vegas, and she's got Arcade Ganon, and when you start to go into Kaisar's camp, Arcade has a dialogue for it, because of course he does, because the game's awesome, and he's like, do I have to be the Virgil to your Dante? Are you dragging me to hell for a reason? And I noticed that they spelled Virgil Vergil, which is like arguably the pedantic way to spell it.
That means you're going to have to
Wow, that's some deep cuts.
Have you ever
Yep.
seen
Yeah.
Institute Courser?
Sure, lots of them.
Like, I don't buy Virgil's conflict at all. That's why I hate Virgil. I hate this character. There's
Well,
no...
You never really got to expand on it before we went off the rails about, like, English stuff.
Yeah, sorry, come back to that, Chris, because I gainsayed you, but I actually wanted to hear why you hated him.
Good at what
Well, I mean, he's living in the middle of radioactive wastes, and even if there was a way to bring him back to humanity, which he seems kind of presumptive there is, because he was like almost ready to crack the formula, but I question whether scientifically that would make any sense to like lose all that weight and all that scarring and the ridiculous head wound and everything else and just be normal again. What future would he have? Like, where would he go? What would his home be? He's comfortable living in isolation here, but it's only because he's a super mutant that is resistant to all the radiation. Like, if he became a human, where would he go to live with humanity?
Yeah.
Where would he go to live amongst his peoples? He can't go back to the Institute. They've already blacklisted him. So,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, is it like a quest to get laid? Like,
No. Well, we've already talked
well,
about
this goes back to the question,
and
do they have
sex stuff, but if you would
Virgil?
like...
Like, does...
I think
'cause,
the
like-
way that he turned into a super mutant is cool, but I think that there's 0 point for him to want to turn back to human. There's no way for you to tell him that. There's no way to be like, look, you're way better off this way. Like, you live in a cave, you're strong, like, why? You don't get that dialogue.
You're
he
smart.
wants-
For some reason, your eyesight didn't get better, though, I guess.
Can he send you? I mean, he sends you to get the formula to turn him back. Can you actually see him turn back?
I don't know. I never gave it to him.
I never got it, but
I gave it to him,
I
but
got
I
it,
never,
I just never
gave
gave
it
it
so
to
I don't know.
No, I think so. I think I did give it to him and he turned back. And then he was a human in the cave, which makes no sense.
So he was one of those children of Adam.
No sense.
and
Let me
he
double
was like,
check,
so
but yeah.
did you bring an extra set of power armor for me? Because I kind of need to leave.
He builds his own Institute teleporter so that he can leave the fucking
Out of
sea.
rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just googled it. He can turn back, and apparently
That's
he
right.
regrows a full head of hair, and his garments are healed, and he changes back into nice, clean Institute clothes. Maybe his
That's
clothes get
right.
repaired. I don't know.
But he's still in a radiated area, and how the fuck is he gonna get back to civilization? Like, it makes no sense.
And also afterwards, he doesn't wear glasses.
What?
Oh.
Wait a minute, like, wow. So
Alright,
I
well,
want to
let's
say
go
that
drop this
I think
off.
I think it's cute how they have like a little animation to go with each quest because it kind of reminds you like what the quest is
Same.
about. If I'm gonna pick nits though, I will say that the one thing about it is that it's sort of a trend of things that are cool when you have a AAA studio behind them, but that make mods even harder to work out and do. To like
Yep.
seamlessly integrate, and that's unfortunate. I don't know if it's worth it or not. I can't answer that question, but
Sun goes down, crazy's
I
coming.
like I said, I like them.
I just switched over to YouTube and watched Virgil change back. You hand him the formula, and then you wait or, go away and come back, and he's a human again in a perfectly pristine Institute garment. He's got a full head of hair, no glasses. He absolutely
5
is
minutes.
just replaced. Yeah, it replaced with a different character. There's nothing about him that seems like Virgil anymore. Like, none of the markings that made Virgil who he was seem to remain on human Virgil, and it's weird.
Conspiracy theory. They just teleported the super mutant away after he took the serum because he was marked with like a teleportation marker. Then they killed him and replaced him with the sleeper agent.
That would
How
be
great would
better.
it be if he came back with like a
Sim.
really awkward voice? Everybody, I'm Virgil.
Wait, what's Shadow of Steel?
I imagine that's a Brotherhood of Steel quest.
Oh,
Yeah, I had that too. Your Pip-Boy's receiving a transmission, and then you listen to it. I think I listened to it, it said, go report to Paladin Dance about this. And then I reported to him, and he's like, so you're going to join the Brotherhood of Steel? And I'm like, I
Yeah.
just wanted to talk about this other thing. And he's like, so you want to join the Brotherhood of Steel? And I'm like, fuck you.
Oh, God, yeah.
I had the same problem. I couldn't follow up on that quest because he was his scripting was not in the right place, and this game just cannot handle anything. Cannot handle you breaking from the intent of the writer.
I almost wish somebody had told me that, like back when I was still playing the game, that you could just join the Brotherhood of Steel. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could be a member of the Brotherhood of Steel and then just like go about your way, and nobody's gonna be like, "Aren't you a Brotherhood of Steel guy?"
Right.
What,
Don't worry,
really?
it won't matter. No, don't worry, it doesn't matter at all. It makes absolutely no difference, so don't feel bad about doing it.
Oh my god.
It matters about as much as joining the Minutemen, I believe, like becoming the Minuteman commander. It's
Right, it
just
has
like,
the same effect
yeah.
on your...
Did no one
complete
else join
bullshit.
the Brotherhood of Steel but me? Like, you guys never really
did
got
I
in
hate
the...
them.
I
hate
joined
them.
them just to see what it was all about, and I met their leader, and then I did the Institute ending for whatever reason. Just because...
I mean,
I think I did the Institute ending because after I met Sean, that was the path of least resistance.
I'm not worried Seamus is going to join a cult where it's like, I joined them just to see what it was all about, and then I met their leader, and then...
Although I heard they have a cat. And so maybe next time I'll join them because they have a cat.
Yeah, there's like 2 cats. Oh wait, aren't cats extinct? No, New Vegas didn't happen.
Okay.
I actually don't mind the
Mumbles
fact that
sounds
there's still
really
cats
broken
alive.
up about this retcon.
What? How
Oh,
can you add cats to my video
no.
game? It's terrible.
I
It's
like
the
to
worst
think
thing you could
that
possibly
Mr.
do.
I like to think that Mr. House was just lying to you. Like, oh, did you like cats? Too bad.
I gotta say, the cats in this game are really well animated. I've seen them, like, jump up on things and do cat stuff. They don't just, like... In some ways, I think they're better animated and more interesting than humans. The humans that, like,
I
lean
have
against,
a mod.
lean against 6 inches from the wall.
I have a mod that lets me have a bunch of different colored cats, and I can put them in my settlements, and I have little bowls, and they eat, and they sunbathe, and I have cats, and it's great.
Do they... I swear I saw a cat, like, jump up on a workbench once. Like, the way cats jump. Not like a human hop in a video game, but it actually looked like a cat jumping up on a surface.
Or like a Bethesda hop where he moves around
Yeah.
and tries to go through a door and then teleports on top of the workbench and then ragdolls.
Right. No, it actually looked... I
Yeah.
was like, oh wow, that looked good.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think of it, House probably was just like... Yeah, you know, cats used to exist, but then they threatened my plan, so I had them all dealt with. all according to the Master Keikaku.
What if he was keeping all the cats to himself? He didn't want anyone else to have the cats, just him, because he
there was
loves
an
kitty cats so
entire-
much.
It was Vault 55 was the all-cat vault he was keeping.
Yes.
Fallout
It was cat
Oxygen.
paradise. They were fed by protectrons for hundreds of years and bred to be more and more adorable.
You just open
There's
up
his
like
plan
his
B.
hermetically sealed like life pod and just a bunch of cats spill out.
Mr. House is cats.
And Mr. House is just like 30 precocious kittens on a big
It'd
adventure.
be so funny if towards the end of the game, he's like, I need you to go get me a giant ball of yarn. Don't ask why.
No,
part of the
you start
plan.
out and he's doing all like the normal house stuff, and it's like, oh, this is all according to my plan. And then like as you go on and go through his quest line, things get more and more like he's actually a giant human-shaped cat. Like he starts asking you to go find
He's
like
like-
balls of yarn.
Get him a
He's like,
fish.
I can will you please?
Victor, unseal the Lucky 38. Victor, seal the Lucky 38 again. Victor, unseal the Lucky 38.
I have a cat on my lap right now, and we're making fun of him, and he doesn't like it. He's getting very grumpy.